Hi there, and welcome to the Crossroads Talks, where science meets the unknown. I am the Witch Doctor, and I'm really excited about today's episode because it starts something a little different, something special. I've always been fascinated by people who seem to live at the edge of what we understand. Those figures who seem to have cracked the code of the universe, they're tapping into something bigger than the rest of us. I'm talking about, for example, Buddhism monk, revered, respected monk, necromancer, shaman, witches and wizards, and people who are remembered not just for their extraordinary life, but of the legacy, they left behind. Have you ever wondered about them? Like, where were they truly connected to the supernatural powers, or were they just incredibly wise? They able to see and do things that the rest of us couldn't. That is what this special series is about, telling the story of these remarkable individuals and exploring what make them unforgettable. Today we're starting with someone who has always specials in my home country. We call him Chao Khun Nor, a monk whose life bridged the royal court and the spiritual sanctuary of Wat Thep Sirin. He was a humble, wise, and according to many stories told about him, he has deeply connected to the supernatural. From surviving a cobra bite to blessing amulet that people swear that it have saved their life. His story is one that still inspires wonder. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive into the extraordinary life and legacy of Chao Khun Nor. I promise you, it is going to be a very interesting story. Chao Khun Nor, also known as Praya Norarat Lachmanit, he lived through an extraordinary period in Thai history, serving during the reign of King Rama VI before ordaining as a monk and continuing his spiritual journey well into the early Rama IX. He was born in 1876. As a young man, he served as the secretary of the royal court under King Rama VI. This role gave him a unique perspective on life and at the highest level of society. But after King Rama VI passed away in 1925, he made the remarkable decision to leave the royal court and ordain as a monk at Thep Sirin Temple. I remember the story that people keep mocking him that when Rama the sixth die, who is gonna be your boss, you're not going to have any more favor or power anymore because your boss just died. And then they say he gonna have nothing to live on. But he just make it so, try to prove his point. He just pick up like some glass, glass that the plant, and eat them. And he said to these people, well, if I can eat glass, I can live. And I personally think that he's right because glass is actually food. Yeah, at least for cow, for sheep. And why not? We human, we can eat them too, so we can live without, any big boss. Imagine walking away from a life of privilege and influence and comfort to embrace a path of humility and simplicity. It's a decision that speaks volume about his character and the depth of his spiritual calling. From then on, he devoted himself entirely to meditation, teaching, and serving others. His teachings reflect a timeless wisdom that transcended the challenges of his era, but his journey wasn't without hardship or mystery. One of the most famous stories about Chao Khun Nor involved an encounter with a cobra. It's said that during his time as a monk, while he was sweeping the floor outside his chamber, cobra jumped out of the bush and bit him. Now we all know that a cobra bite is almost always fatal without immediate treatment, but he reportedly remained calm, returning to his meditation as nothing has happened. Witnesses claim that he survived the bite without any medical intervention, which many saw as a testament to his extraordinary spiritual strength and composure. It was revealed later on that he spoke to the snake in his prayer, saying that if we have anything to do with each other, like in Buddhism, we believe in karma. So if you done something wrong to a person, then you have to kind of pay the debt that you did wrong to them. He just said that, well, if he has any debt to pay the snake, I mean the cobra, he shall die today, like as it is. But if not, then let him, carry on, like let him live. And then he lived. I have thought a lot about this story. I heard that monks, when they meditate a lot, they are going to possess some kind of extraordinary skill, like they can control their body temperature, they can go from place to place, like in the astral realm. We will talk about astral realm later on. It's like they become superhuman, more like X-Men. They can control weather, they can create fire of nothing, they can do all sort of things that normal human being cannot do. And the heart of Chao Khun Nor's legacy are his teaching. He emphasized simplicity, mindfulness, and humility, believing that the path to true peace lies in letting go of ego and attachment. He emphasized the concept of mind over matter, the power of the mind have control and influence on the body and the physical world in general. To master oneself is greater than to master the world. It is such a profound yet simple idea. He lived by this principle, shining away from public ceremonies and material possession, and instead focusing on meditation and helping others cultivate their own inner peace. So normally, Buddhist monk in Thailand, they will have to go out every morning, let's say from like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. every morning to receive food offering from Buddhist people. And then when it comes to Chao Khun Nor, he used to go out and receive the food offering, and then one day he got to stop because people, I would say he was popular among people, and a lot of people want to make merit, want to give him food more than other monks. It's like he had the fans, that kind of thing. And then he realized that it's not going to be a good thing because other monks won't get anything. So in general, in the monk society or monkhood, monk circle, they're gonna have a monk that do a lot more of mindfulness and spiritual practice, and there'll be type of monk that who just do like teaching and stuff. But once you do like a lot of meditation, you receive some kind of what should I say, it's kind of level up. You will receive, I mean, I'm not saying like everybody who do meditation has some kind of special power or become all-knowing like that, but he was famous, I mean still famous, about knowing a lot of stuff that normal people wouldn't know or other monk wouldn't know. Like he can kind of see future, more like I would say a psychic or something like that, but it came to him because of his meditation practice. And we will talk about meditation and stuff later on. It's just something that people know in mind, and then it's like if you meditate up to the point, then you kind of level up to be like a different type of monk. It's very, very in details in this stuff, but yeah, it's like high ranking of the monk. If you make merit to this rank of monk, then you get more merit than making merit to a general monk. That's why he stopped going out for food receiving, because he want the other monk to have a chance. So yeah, poor other monk. He didn't want to trespass anyone. So normally every temple they will have people who look after the monk, which most of the time gonna be male because monks are male, and then they don't want to kind of, if female involved, then there will be problem. Um, so he refused to have any personal like carer. He said he doesn't want to bother anyone with anything when he still can do it on his own. So he said to the people who look after the temple that they just have to leave the food tray in front of his chamber. And if when the day come that he doesn't come out to pick it up anymore, that means that's his last day of his life that he's gonna live. So from that, people were going to see him only the time that he came out to pick up his food, and only when he has something to do at the main temple. Other than that, he would just stay in his chamber and then meditate all day. And he has only one meal a day. He very strict monk, and it must be a vegetarian meal as well. As a funny story, well, it's not fun for him at the time. He said because he ate only once a day, so there will be some day and other day that he doesn't get to have any food because he eat only at 11 a.m. So when you become a monk, they don't really eat anything after the certain period of time. Some temple they do eat like twice a day. Some very strict they eat just once a day. So he says because the person who bring the food tray to his chamber was his nephew. Sometimes the boy forgot that it's a time that he's supposed to bring the tray to his uncle. So when the boy gets to his chamber, he would just knock and say, "Well, uncle, I brought the food." And then he would just open the door and say to him, "What time is it now?" And then close the door. So that will be the day that he didn't get to have any food. And he wouldn't cheat. If I were him, I'd probably like kind of sneaking, like, okay, I'm just gonna have a little bit of this because I'm hungry. But I think for him, it's just, well, he's strict, and then he know that he can control his hunger with meditation. Again, minds over matters, or in this case, over the physical bodies. I find his teaching so relevant today, especially in the crazy world. He reminds us that if we find, the inner peace, everything else will be sorted. Now let's get into the mystical stories surrounding Chao Khun Nor. Beside the story about the cobra, there are countless tales of his spiritual energy and the miraculous events connected to him. One of the most famous involves his amulet. Normally, Chao Khun Nor, he doesn't really into doing any sort of like showing his I would say magical power. I don't know what words should I use in English, but yeah, he doesn't want to show off what he can do in terms of supernatural stuff, because Buddha teaching was like, is a good thing, but keep it to yourself. It's not the point of enlightenment or going to nirvana. That's why Buddha, he didn't want people to focusing on meditation to get some kind of a superpower. He want people to learn how to walk in the middle path and then live a simple life and then go nirvana. So that's why Chao Khun Nor wasn't into making of any amulet or charm just to get money from believer or even give him away. But there was one amulet that he made. It called พระสมเด็จเจ้าคุณนอ These amulets are still highly sought after today. It's worth millions. I would say million baht, but in pound probably 20,000 pound sort of thing. These amulets believed to offer protection, guidance, and even miraculous intervention. He made this just to give it to people like during the time of the World War II in Thailand. There was people who claiming that they survived the bomb and credited to the amulet as saving their life. But Chao Khun Nor never focuses on these supernatural claim. He often reminded people that the real power lay in their own faith and actions. For him, the amulets were just a tool for mindfulness, not a magic charms. Despite his incredible resilience, including surviving the cobra, Chao Khun Nor was not immune to reality of human life. In his later years, he was diagnosed with cancer, a disease that ultimately claimed his life in 1950 during the early Rama IX period. He didn't allow any medical intervention. He said that this is part of life. This is part of being human. This is a process. This is how his life gonna end. And by killing any cancer cell is still a bad karma. He doesn't want to kill and trespass anyone or anything. So, well, for me, because I have kids, so I'm probably gonna be like, kill them all, just get them out of me. I wanna live, but well, that's me. And what strikes me is how he faces his illness with the same calm and dignity that defined his life. Even in the face of death, he remained a source of inspiration for those around him, showing that true peace comes from within, regardless of external circumstances. This is a reminder that the spirituality isn't about escaping life's challenges, but about learning to face them with grace and acceptance. I often think about what we can learn from Chao Khun Nor's life. For me, it's not just about the mystical story or supernatural events, which I love them a lot. It's about his unwavering commitment to humility, mindfulness, and service. The cobra story, for instance, isn't just about the tale of survival. It's the metaphor for how we can face our own fears and challenges. And his decision to live a life of privilege to pursue a spiritual path remind me that true fulfillment often comes from simplicity, not complexity. I have never met him or met anyone like him. Of course, I'm a bit young for that still, but his story continues to inspire me, and I hope it's inspired you too. As we wrapped up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Chao Khun Nor's life show us that spirituality isn't about being extraordinary. It's about living with sincerity and purpose. Whether it's through his teaching, the story of his superpower, or his resilience in the face of challenges, his legacy continues to remind us of the power of faith and humility. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you ever visit Thep Sirin Temple, or you have one of his amulets, or experience something that you can't quite explain, I would love to hear your story. These are the conversations that keep his spirit alive. Until next time, take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. I am the Witch Doctor, and this has been the Crossroads Talk. Stay curious, stay kind, keep exploring. When it is time to cross the road, I know we look both ways.